Alrighty. Hello, welcome again to Talk Some More Balls of Dragons. I am your hostess with the mostest, Renee Mendoza, joined by CJ McCree of Milwaukee, Renee Nalani, photographer extraordinaire, and Tyler Ruiz, super ooper Dragon Ball nerd, as you can see by the background. What is up, good sirs and dudettes? How are you guys doing?
Yo.
Yo, alrighty.
Doing well.
So as always, remember the drinking game. Every time we say like, or I touch my face. I know I touch my face a lot, but and then let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Alrighty. So we're gonna go back to I guess one of the most famous, if not the most famous anime of all time. Dragon Ball Z. So Tyler, I know you're the uber Dragon Ball Z fan. We'll start with you, good sir. What do you like? What is it about the Dragon Ball Z that you like?
Well, do you have 3 hours?
No, we don't. You got to condense it down to 2 minutes.
A lot of people tend to cite Dragon Ball. A lot of hardcore anime fans tend to cite Dragon Ball as the best show of the three, and there's a lot of merit to that. It's not weighed down by the power level curse, doesn't have endless transformations. But I think Dragon Ball Z is the best show of the three, and it's my personal favorite. The reason being is there's in my opinion, the most character development of the three shows. And it's primarily an allegory for like Gohan growing up. By example, in episode 5 of Dragon Ball Z, Goku dies. This character you thought was invincible through all of Dragon Ball dies in the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z. And his son Gohan is left into the hands of his arch nemesis at the time, Piccolo. And he, of course, didn't want to go and train and become stronger. He wanted to remain human, but he had to embrace the heroic calling. He had to answer the hero's call, go on the hero's journey. And there's, of course, this great apotheosis moment with Gohan, where he reaches Super Saiyan 2 while fighting Cell, and that is one of the best moments in anime history, in my opinion. And even additional to Gohan, you have a lot of other characters who are changed by Goku, but I think most notably fans tend to cite is Vegeta. Vegeta is an amazing character in Dragon Ball Z, and he and Goku have this whole dichotomy, and Vegeta is like his devil on Goku's shoulder, like, why aren't you embracing your evil self, your Saiyan self? Whereas Goku's like, you gotta be more human, dude. That's a super fascinating arc that Vegeta has. You watch him go from this planet-destroying space pirate to this loving father of his son. And that's another great moment in Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta hugs Trunks for the first time before he decided to self-destruct, trying to kill Boo. And lastly, I would just say a lot of people tend to cite Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender as being like one of the best animated characters, but he's not original. He's a clone of Vegeta. And yeah, Dragon Ball Z, man, it's all about character development. And as cool as the explosions and the power levels and the endless fights are for my teenage self, I keep coming back for that character development.
I would agree with that. I feel like everyone. That's the one thing I would agree with them. Is that it seems like everyone grows. Vegeta definitely grows. Goku is still pretty. He is the main protagonist, but it felt more to me that it was more about Gohan this time around. It was about Gohan becoming the next Goku, but then that kind of just went away. Like you said, like in future he becomes a teacher, doesn't he? Like he becomes a married man. He becomes a father. Like he steps away, and that we'll see that later in Dragon Ball Super. But I do feel that Dragon Ball Z to me was fun, but at a certain point I just got tired of it. I'm like, dude, like, so that was the one thing that I started getting annoyed with, but it was still exciting at the same time. Was Goku becoming, and this is kind of where the OP thing starts, was like Goku becoming the super powered, only he can save us character. I'm like, he goes Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan 2, and then Super Saiyan 3. I'm like, all right, there's gotta be, except for when Gohan beats, is it Gohan? He beats Cell, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's when, okay, cool. But at that point, I'm like, he's got all these team of fighters. And here's one thing too that kind of bugged me to no end. I'm like, he's dead, but he comes back to fight when he's still dead. I'm like, what the frack is that? I'm like, come
All
on.
these loopholes.
It, but overall,
Yeah.
I do like
If
Dragon.
the
Go ahead.
sorry, if the show ended in Dragon Ball Z when Goku sacrificed himself to save the Earth when Cell was going to self-destruct, and if Gohan had to go the rest of his life knowing that it's his fault, his dad's dead, but he now is the most powerful person, he has to protect the Earth for the rest of his life, because he answered the hero's call, but he messed up by abusing his power. That would have been the best ending to an anime ever, but Toei wanted Toriyama to keep going, so that's just what
I
happened.
would have been okay with that being the ending. To me, that was, I'm like, all right, it's done. But I'm like, and that to me, the Cell Saga is the best saga in my opinion. I love that saga. But then they had Majin Buu, which is also one of my favorite sagas too, only because of Kid Buu. But yeah, I would have been okay with them ending it like that and never seeing it again. I'm like, okay, cool, off we go. Anyone else?
It's interesting to me. Like, I never, the way you put it, Tyler, I never thought about it like that. That from the beginning, it was Gohan's story, and when you put it into that perspective, it's like it makes like more sense to me. Like, because the way I look at it, the way I like it, so because you're like, oh yeah, Goku dies in like the first 5 episodes, and he does. But he still is going on his own journey. You know what I mean? Like, even though he's dead, he still like has his death is like part of his journey to get stronger though too. You know what I mean? Because it is like he dies and while he's dead, because it's like he purposely has them wait to wish him back because he has to learn something. Like, he has to learn
That's right.
I think the tail pin technique.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But he purposely stops them. So it's like, it's not just, you know what I mean? It is like Gohan then does have to like step it up, but Goku is still like advancing himself in order to come back and like defeat the other Saiyans that are coming back. But like, because the way I saw it, like first and foremost, the Cell Saga is my favorite saga. Like, it's one of my favorite like storytelling arcs in all of history, but like it was certainly my favorite saga because Gohan was always my favorite character of Dragon Ball Z. And so like I loved it, and you mentioned that moment like when Gohan becomes Super Saiyan 2. That's one of my favorite moments in the entire series. Like, that moment, like, and the feelings that it brings with it, you know what I mean, that he becomes this uber powerful, he becomes the most at the time powerful character in the show. And then, you know, I only like the moment where he defeats Cell like slightly more than that, but like but before that, like, what I was thinking was that I love the Cell saga, but the whole of Dragon Ball Z to me is like it's building to the Frieza saga. And it's building to him defeating Frieza, because it's like before that, it's like you have like these Saiyans, they're coming to Earth, and like it kind of like gets bigger, you know what I mean? Then it's like more Saiyans, and it's like then we find out the origin of why they were coming, and it's like, oh, they're all under Frieza and like his family's thumb and that empire. And it's like I feel like it's all building towards this, and then we even get the history. We even get like the Goku's real origin story. You know what I mean? Like what, like, you know, I mean, his Kal-El origin story. You know what I mean? Like, where they kind of like tie that back in. You know what I mean? It kind of like reaches back and then kind of like it kind of wraps itself up in this nice little bow. You know what I mean? At the end of the Frieza saga, where I feel like it was all leading towards that. Like, and I love it. Like, again, saying like Cell Saga is my favorite saga, but I feel like if they ended it at Frieza saga, like that would have been like nice little bow, nice tie, like boom, this is it. Here's the story kind of. And to me, it kind of felt like everything after that was more tacked on and more extra, I guess. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion.
Renee, thoughts?
Well, Super gosh. Super Saiyans, oh my gosh. It was so cool to see that introduced in Dragon Ball Z. Like, you thought they couldn't be any more powerful, then they just like top it off, and top it off. But it is like you said, Renee, it at some point it kind of got a little too much, where it's like, really? But it was still overall a great series. Like, I loved how long the series went on and all the different arcs. It didn't just stop at young Gohan. You got to see young adult Gohan and his journey, and then like of all the arcs, I want to say Buu arc is my favorite, and that was the one I was like super devoted into following the series for. Like, that's what hooked me.
So the Buu arc is your favorite?
Huh?
The Buu arc is your favorite? The Majin Buu arc?
Yeah.
That was my favorite only because we got to see like Kid Buu. I thought Kid Buu was amazing.
Yeah.
And
Saiyaman. I love how they just
Saiyaman.
Yeah,
They were making Power Rangers.
Love how they do a Kamen Rider parody.
Yeah, I thought it was a pirate parody, but I'm like, that's it is a Kamen Rider stuff. So,
yeah.
All right. So before we move on, because this is something that I when I was in Mexico, because I grew up watching the Mexican version, because I would go to Mexico and I watch it here on Telemundo. I watch it in Spanish, and then when it came in the English version, I'm like, wait, Dragon Ball Z, what is this theme song?
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, rock, dragon, come,
That theme song is a big kind of issue with fans. What did you guys take on it? To me, I'm like, it's very American for sure, but it's not the Dragon Ball theme song that I know. Tyler, CJ, Renee.
The Rock the Dragon intro is really just a symptom of Dragon Ball being westernized. About the intro in particular, 95% of the intro doesn't even have clips in it that are canon. Almost all the footage from the Rock the Dragon intro are from the spin-off movies, which weren't even written by Akira Toriyama. And the voice of Goku in the Rock the Dragon intro was Peter Kalamis, who's from the Canadian Ocean dub. Whereas if you're watching Dragon Ball Z on Toonami in the United States, you're probably hearing Sean Schemmel, who dubbed like 95% of Dragon Ball Z in the Funimation dub. But again, it's just a symptom of Dragon Ball being overly westernized, and it was a big part of that marketing hype, trying to attract young teenage viewers.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I told it to my cousins when I was in Mexico, and I'm like, have you guys seen this? And they're like, what is this blasphemy? It did not go well with my cousins in Mexico, I'll tell you that much. But I mean, it's funny because the rest of the world has the original theme song localized to their language, but us, I'm like, but yes, it is very American. It is very hype up. It hyped me up. All right. Anything else? Anything anyone want to add or touch or mention before we move on and say goodbye to the loyal fans who are listening to us talk about Ballz of the Dragon?
Yeah, just really quick. Just wanted to say that Funimation really put everything behind Dragon Ball. They made a huge risk because they're investing a lot in the promotional material. There are a lot of, I would say, like every other week, a new promotional video for Dragon Ball is coming out, and they had amazing voices like Don LaFontaine, Peter Cullen, Steve Bloom, and they were all saying stuff like, "Watch Dragon Ball Z tomorrow to get your mind blown," and it really hooked audiences. And if it weren't for that Hail Mary pass from Funimation, I don't think Western audiences would have been exposed to as much anime as they did. And I think because of that, I think Dragon Ball Z is almost single-handedly responsible for anime becoming what it is now in the United States.
Because I saw Dragon Ball in Mexico before I saw it here. Like, do you think that's true? Like, I saw like
Yeah, but
for
you saw
United-
Dragon Ball in Mexico before you saw it here. But
Right,
I
so-
grew up here,
Yeah.
and I didn't go to
So did I.
Mexico.
I
Like,
grew
you know
up
what I
here
mean?
too.
Like, and I saw it as a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I grew up here too. But like, why am I seeing it here in Mexico? Like, where is this? Well, that
and I had, and
Because
I had,
Mexico isn't the United States.
Yeah, because there's a lot of animes in Mexico that I'm like that are not here or that I haven't seen here. I'm like, what is this? Okay, but all right, interesting.
Again, I think that a lot of, actually, probably all of studios in the United States are super averse to risk, financial risk, and it really took a lot of impressing for them to really appreciate what like anime is, and it took something like that was as impressive as Dragon Ball Z in order for them to really see that. And Dragon Ball came out like 5 years after Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. If it were Dragon Ball that was being exposed to Western audiences first, I don't think the same outcome would have played out
Yeah,
on
that's true.
Toonami.
What about, all right, so what about Sailor Moon and Ranma 1/2? 'Cause I remember seeing those here. And what was the other one? Samurai Pizza Cats.
You had to go to the library for Ranma 1/2.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon was came in on the same boat of Dragon Ball. I'll just say.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, I mean, what he's saying is kind of like, you know, Spider-Man wasn't the first big superhero movie. It just blew the door open. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was
Yeah.
X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah, there was Blade before it.
Fair.
Yeah, there was Batman. You know what I mean? But Spider-Man showed America that people will spend money on this ish.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is how it works. It was like Dragon Ball Z for the boys and then Sailor Moon for the girls. And because they were both
Right.
on at the same time,
Got
it
it.
just that they both opened the door for anime fans.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for us listening to watching. All right, so thank you for watching. Let us know how you did with the drinking game. What else? So yeah, we'll see you next fracking time. Same fracking channel. Frack off.